So, by the way, if Chris suggests something, have you yet to turn to Chris and say, Chris, I got it. Really, I appreciate it, but I got it. Has that moment happened yet for you?
It hasn't yet, but I just take credit for everything that works and anything that doesn't work. I just turn it back and look back at it. It's like, that's what you wanted, right?
Yeah, put your hands in the air. You guys have gotten this team to buy in. And I don't know if it's Mike Conley. It's hard because you have different personalities, defensive players, an emerging star, role players. The team just buys into all of it. When did they buy in? Was it hard to get there? When did you feel it?
I think this year, we were just talking about the other day, we go over to Abu Dhabi, and ironically enough, we're playing the Dallas Mavericks there to start the season. And we played the first couple preseason games, and the defense was very, very good. And obviously, Dallas is not who they were then, but just you could tell the way we were flying around, the way we were in sync, and offensively, everybody had bought in. And that obviously starts with Coach Finch. And then when you have Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns and Mike Conley and all these guys, it's obviously Anthony Edwards buying in. Everybody else follows. And then the staff, we have a very cohesive staff, and everybody's preaching the same message. But again, that starts with Coach Finch. And Anthony Edwards, I think, summed it up last night best, that he's such a great coach because he holds everybody accountable. And the reason why is he's able to explain the why. And if we do these things, we're going to be successful. And then when you start having success, it makes it that much easier to buy in for everybody.
You dominate the first two games of the series, and then the next two, Denver gets loose, plays very well offensively, and home court didn't mean much to start the series. And a lot of us, myself included, thought, okay, Denver got right, they tweaked, and then something happened. Talk about Game 5 on. First four, all Minnesota early, all Denver. What happened in the last three games of this series where you, Micah, felt like we're going to win this thing?
I think Game 5, we didn't have Mike Conley that game. And he obviously, and you've mentioned it, he's such a professional, he's such a leader for us, and he does so many things that doesn't really impact a stat sheet as far as maybe points go, but all the stuff that he does. And that also cleans up our rotation. So when we got Game 5 and we're there and we lose that game, coming back Game 6, getting Mike back gave us that push again. And Coach Finch has said the whole time, our best and our health is better than their best and when they're healthy. And guys really bought into that. It wasn't anything gimmicky. It was just believing that when we play well and we play and we share the ball, that we're very, very tough to beat. We were able to obviously take care of home court in Game 6, which is an anomaly as well. When you get up 50 points against a team like Denver and Jamal Murray getting hurt early, that obviously helped. But then going into Game 7, the one thing that we did know is that we were not, there's no one's ever afraid, but we had no fear of going into that building. We had won 3 of the last 4 games to go back to the end of the regular season in that building, including the first 2 games, 1 and 2 in the series. So we were very, very comfortable in that building. Coach Finch does a great job of showing us and showing the team where we can be effective, what made us effective in those first games, and trying to repeat that. And the first half, we weren't able to do it as much. We got a little bit bogged down playing too much ISO ball. And then the second half, you saw our defense really got us going and the ball started popping and we got back to playing Timberwolves basketball.
Mike Conley, this really bright, committed veteran, and Ant. It's so intentional. It's like, oh, that's the perfect point guard with Ant. That's literally the perfect. Did you guys know it instantly when you got Conley? Were you seeking something when he landed, when he goes to the first couple practices? Did you know instantly Conley is perfect for Ant?
Yeah, and it kind of led to your point about getting him with Rudy Gobert. And obviously those guys were a great partner in Utah, and we knew that he would help Rudy immensely, which he did. But the Ant and Mike Conley is kind of like the old odd couple. I know I'm probably dating myself, but you've got 2 very, very different personalities, but they sit together on the plane, they sit together in the film room, and it's almost like Ant has that bravado and that swagger that Mike, who is a very reserved and quiet guy, probably just is sitting there and is in awe of this guy. But at the end of the day, Mike Conley has been a godsend for all of us. And he and Ant Ant's one of those guys that loves to learn, very, very competitive, any advantage that he can get. He knows that Mike has seen it all. And the other thing about Mike is there's no hidden agenda with Mike, very, very selfless guy. So everything he's doing is coming from the right place. And all he wants is to help Ant be the best player in the world that Ant thinks that he can be, and Ant has a chance to be. And all he does is uplift Ant, answers questions for Ant, and Ant knows that he can confide in Mike with anything he needs. So, yeah, absolutely. Mike Conley is, as you saw in Game 5 when we didn't have him, he is the soul basically to our whole team.
It looks like, and this is a cliche maybe, but it looks like a fun team to hang around. Is it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, winning obviously helps. I mean, when you win, you can put up a lot of stuff, but we have a great group of personalities. I mean, there's no jerks in the locker room. You can always absorb one or two, and sometimes it's not bad to have one or two to get things riled up. But when you have a guy like Ant that has the utmost amount of confidence, who the bravado and the swagger that when he truly believes that all he does is bring everybody with him. You have your professionals and guys that have seen it all, meaning Rudy, and you have Mike Conley and Kyle Anderson. And then you got the young kids like Jaden and Nikhil. It's a great, great group that every day practices are competitive. We're very, very deep. I mean, Naz Reid's 6th man of the year. So they're just a lot of different types of personalities, but they generally are all guys that outside of basketball, you would have no problem hanging out with. I mean, we are very, very fortunate.
Micah Nori, good luck for you going forward. You got your hands full with Dallas, made 2 moves at the trade deadline. Now they're formidable in the front court, back court as well. Great meeting you. Send our best to Chris, hobbling around. He'll be on soon as well, and send our best to him. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.